Welcome home. We are WNST, AM 1570, Towson, Baltimore. We are Baltimore positive. Nothing more positive than springtime and good weather. We are getting the Maryland Crab Cake Tour back out on the road next week for not opening day. Anybody can do opening day, and everybody's does up. We're going to do the second opening day on Wednesday. We'll be at Fadley's. Downtown, we'll be at Lexington Market. I will have scratch offs in the Maryland Lottery to give away. The Magic 8 Balls have been a lucky batch. We are winding things down. We're going to be going all over the place this month. We're going to be over at Coco's Pub later on in the month. I am wearing my Costas shirt to show my love for Mr. Costas, the late, great Mr. Costas, who we're celebrating here all week. I am inking a tribute this weekend in Toronto as well. Just so much going on in and around town as well. And if you listen in to WNST on any given evening or even in the afternoons the last 2 weeks, we've had MEAC basketball. We've had NIT basketball with the ladies and the men. We have proudly been Coppin State's partner, so much so that I bring my Eagles belt buckle everywhere I go. And maybe not to Canada this week, but Toinette Jenkins going to join us right now. She is the first lady of Coppin. I actually met her high above the city with Dr. Anthony Jenkins, who supports all we do. And we try to support everything that's going on for many, many years. All we did around here was run basketball games and run sporting events. And we did things for sports, but so many things going on over in West Baltimore, including this huge celebration that has just begun. It was so big that I could barely get a place to park over for the homecoming a couple weeks ago over on the campus. I had to park outside of Mondawmin. I had a double basketball game, and Morgan wasn't even over that weekend. Good day to you, Toinette. How are you? And how's Dr. Jenkins? I would invite him down for a crab cake down at but he's busy.
Yes. I'm doing wonderful. Let me just say thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be with you today. I'm excited to be on your podcast.
I told my wife, I said, look, I got to shave up and get right because not. She said it was for Getty Lee because I'm going up to Toronto and doing all of that. I said, no, no,
Yeah.
no. Mrs. Jenkins is coming on. She's First Lady Coppin, and I knew you were going to be buttoned up, so I had to figure this all out. Tell me, first things first. I've got to know your husband over the course of time and coming out and sit with me. And your relationship. I mean, your lifer, pairing and through a lot of different things and military and moves. You must have a story to tell. I've known a lot of wives of football coaches who've moved their lives from Idaho to here to Bemidji to there, moving around and doing things. You and I would have an interesting evening together talking about that, wouldn't we?
Yes, we would. Yes, indeed.
Where did you meet your husband?
I actually met Anthony on an summer internship in Washington, D.C. And I was on the third floor. He was on the fourth, had not a clue. And one day I had a paper cut. I was headed to get a Band-Aid, and on my way back up on the escalator in the middle of the DC Superior Courthouse, there was this gentleman that was on the escalator ahead of me. And rest is history.
Did you say why you bleeding all over the elevator or no?
Well, by that time I had a Band-Aid, but by the time I got up to the top of the escalator, he introduced himself and pretty much thought that was it, went out for lunch. And back during those times, there wasn't social media or a way to keep up with each other. So it was pen pals.
Wow.
So by the time I got back to college, I had a stack of letters waiting for me, and the rest is history. Yeah.
Well, it is. I met you at the holiday event, and Coppin's such a family thing, and it would not be unusual to have you on and talking about your life and your immersion in your husband's life into running a university that his pride beams in it, but you see it in the room and the people that are around. And every week I welcome someone on, and you and I were doing a little pre-prep, which I don't do a lot of green rooming, as you now know. And you're, like, well, we have a big celebration this year. And I'm like, well, of course I know about it. We've been talking about it for a year. But it's now here. And, I did my 25th anniversary, and I used to have a 25 cake over here as part of my logo. And I have to think about all the things we did. And we did a documentary. We did stuff last year because it was our big year. But when you put these things together, I think you see behind the scenes that this is a really important milestone for the university, for everyone associated with it.
Yes, it is. When I think back to how we got here, to our namesake, Fannie Jackson Coppin, she was a slave, whose freedom was purchased by her aunt, moved to Pennsylvania, and from there, she was nonstop. She was bold. She had a fierceness, a determination that was just unstoppable. And she became our nation's first Black female principal, our nation's first Black female superintendent. And so to have that as our legacy, I am completely honored and humbled to serve in lockstep with our eighth president, Dr. Anthony Jenkins, to serve as its first lady in order to help not only continue that great legacy, but to help each student, each alumni, each person I meet as an ambassador for Coppin to feel included, to feel welcome, and to feel empowered as they continue to transform into their better self. So I'm humbled to serve as their first lady.
If nothing else, I plead absolute ignorance to understanding the background of the name Coppin and Coppin State.
Mm.
And I literally going back, and I tell everybody knows this. I mean, I've been on the air 34 years, but when Coppin had the big basketball victory with Fang back in the 90s, which we just celebrated another anniversary of that,
Right.
UMBC, if they didn't beat them, it would have been the only 15 too. So, I mean, we've got a heck of a heritage. And now with Derek
Yes.
Queen is pulled off with Baltimore, and
Yes.
just it's been a time, I think, for Baltimore. And we're, as you and I speak, a year out on losing our bridge. As I wear my Costas
Mm.
shirt over on the east side of
Right.
town, where you can see the bridge from Costas. The city's been
Right.
through a lot in a lot of ways, and you guys have this great story to tell that I've been proud of telling the basketball part of it and the West Baltimore part and the education and teacher school and and nurses and all of that. But I think that the school's grown so much, and every time I immerse a little bit, I learn more about what's going on in Coppin all the time. And this 125 is about telling the history, but telling about where you are right now, which is a really thriving and growing and expanding little place over in West Baltimore that people need to know about outside of West Baltimore.
Oh, absolutely. We are definitely Baltimore's hometown university. We have had our largest cohort since 2011 with our entering freshmen. And so we are just excited to see them all on campus. We're excited not only that, just to see the phenomenal things each of our students and our alumni are doing, not only on campus, but in the community, even at the Olympics, even winning championships. We have some of the top programs that are nationally ranked. So we're really doing some great things here, and we're just excited. But not only that, it's just a family environment. We thrive on just making everyone we come in contact with feel welcomed. Because once you feel welcome, once you feel included, that's just the beginning of your breakthrough, of your transformational journey that they're on. So that's the ultimate aim, just to make you feel included and empowered to continue on your transformational journey. College is not easy. And so if I can help in some way to help those feel empowered, inspired, which is what I do with my social media outlets, to drop little empowerment nuggets just to help them along their way, then I know that in some way, my role as First Lady is not in vain.
We are chatting with Mrs. Toinette Jenkins, Dr. Anthony Jenkins' wife. She's the first lady at Coppin as we're celebrating 125 years, and we've talked about events. You have a gala coming up in a couple of weeks that's going to, I don't want to say kick off things. The thing's been kicked off now. We're just
Yes.
looking toward to the fall. You're doing a big event in the fall as well, but gaining some
Right.
momentum here, I think, for everything in 125. The first time I
Mhm.
had Dr. Jenkins on, I my first question is military background, Washington guy, into academia. Why Coppin? Why Baltimore? What made it attractive? And I think when he interviews for a job and he's moved in different ways in military, when you heard Baltimore, Coppin, let's go make a visit. Like kind of like when
Mhm.
you make visits as a student going to a university.
Right.
What did you
Mhm.
find that made it attractive then and now that you bring into this 125 to say that you've learned about Coppin that maybe not just preconceived ideas or opinions maybe before you came, but I don't know where your thoughts were before you walked on campus and where it is now.
You know, here again, it was the legacy of Coppin. We had often heard that, Coppin was the hidden jewel of Baltimore, and we didn't want that to be the case anymore because there's so much history, there's so much potential they already had. There was so much going on. So it was just like, what can we do to bring and help bring all of this to light, to peel back the layers of the onion so that everyone, not just West Baltimore, but the nation can see that this university can stand its own against anyone. And so that was just, I think, our driving factor to how can we be of service to West Baltimore.
What does Dr. Jenkins come home and get excited about? What's he when you get a good news text? Bad things happen, good things happen. That's leadership, right? Crisis things just on an all day basis. You have young people. We're in West Baltimore. Just a lot of things can go wrong and do, and then we fix them. We solve problems, right? But
Correct.
what gets him excited when he comes home about something? And I know at the heart of it, you need money to make things run. You need students to want to be there. And once they get there, to have an exemplary experience to come back. You need alumni focused in on all of it. But what's gotten him the most excited about this 125? Because I haven't caught up with him because he's been so busy.
It's undoubtedly the connections with the students. Every connection that he has with the students, the alumni, that gets him excited. It gets him excited when when donations come in to want to help the university, when others see the potential and the greatness that's already here. That gets him excited. And so it's like full circle that we are once again standing on the legacy of Fanny, continuing in her greatness. It just with the students undoubtedly just getting to seeing how they each and every day are transforming into their greatest self, that constantly, that's every day, that gets him excited.
Events. We got things coming up. People can participate. I mean, people can participate all the time. There's also, I mean, Sherm's got baseball season rolling over there.
Yes,
Ruffins,
yes,
we're clearing
exactly.
space over here to run games. We had the ladies playing the other day at 7 o'clock the other night as well. So there's been a lot of sports and athletics, and I talk about that all the time and what's happening there. But behind the scenes here, this 125, you're fundraising. You're doing a lot of things in the community, and you've chaired, and so your husband chaired a bunch of different things here. What's on the event calendar for you? What are you excited about and promoting today?
Well, today we do have our and well, not today, but coming up, we do have our anniversary birthday event, the 125 in April. And of course, what gets me excited every year is graduation. That's coming up. Nothing makes me more excited and humble to see is the beginning every year at convocation when the freshmen get their Eagle pen. And then nothing makes me even more excited every year to see each and every student walk across that stage and get their diploma. So that is also coming up in May.
There's nothing like that sense of like accomplishment, right? When you do
Yes,
that, right? I mean,
exactly.
and the joy and families and it's always a family gig, right? By the time you get to this point, friends, family, people around you, because not easy. Not, I mean, I went to
Yes.
college, was a young parent, I had a job. Not easy to do. And I tried to find the easiest way to do it too. I don't know about this internet and all this AI, but
Right, right.
I had your IT director on here, so you tell Dr. Kirby I'm looking out for her. Mrs. Toinette Jenkins is here. She is the first lady of Coppin State University, and we support the Eagles around here. We've been their flagship for a long, long
Right.
time doing sports stuff. Now we're trying to do more grown-up stuff here as we bring the student athletes into focus, but also bring in the business and all the things that make Coppin great and the education, and I think the legacy and the storytelling. Every one of you is telling me new stories that's getting me Google Fanny Coppin,
Great.
trying to learn,
Great.
and it is an inspiring story. And how do I not know more about this? And I feel embarrassed in my ignorance. I really do.
But hey, Every day you learn, that's great. And it's something more that you can also continue to share with people about Coppin. There you go.
Well, I guess maybe that if that makes it worthwhile, that everyone Googles the reason for all this and just the background of Coppin, besides winning big basketball games and being a cool place and all
Exactly.
that. I look forward to seeing you in a couple weeks. I know I'm going to be involved in a couple of the big events. My wife heard. Tell me about is this a gala? Is this a ball? What is this? Because she's thinking, what do I gotta wear?
Well, it is a birthday celebration, so whatever you would wear to a birthday celebration,
Is it
that
dress
is
to impress? Because I that's good.
always.
All right. Well, when it says dress to impress, I'm never, but when it says, if it has the F word, formal, like once it says
Um,
goes formal on me, now I'm thinking like
mm.
I gotta, maybe look like a penguin or so, to do something a little different. You know what I mean?
Right. That I'll have to get back to you on, but you
I
can
clean
never
up
err on the
nice now. I
side
will
of
do formal. Now, just got to
this.
let me know. I just don't want to show
Right.
up cocktail nice or dress to impress. And then I walk in and say, I didn't get the memo on this. How did that happen?
It's okay. It's okay. However you show up, when you show up in your greatness, that's all that matters.
Well, yeah, I just got to
So,
have a little extra check mark in my calendar if I've got to, Uh,
yes, right,
Mrs.
exactly.
Toinette Jenkins has been a gracious guest. Her husband will join me at some point for a crab cake before graduation. Man, you start giving me graduation, we get 80-degree days. I'm like, I got to find Dr. Jenkins and get him out to talk about 125 as well. We do support everything they're doing over at Coppin. We are more than just a flagship for their sports. We are their partners as well. You can learn about all the sports at
Right.
Coppin State Sports, and you can learn more at Coppin and at the front of Baltimore Positive. Thanks for energizing me here today. It's opening
You're
day, baseball,
welcome.
good weather, and
Yes.
125. We got it all
And
happening.
125. Exactly. So we are, it's wonderful to be here with you. I'm excited to be on your podcast this morning. Thanks for having me.
Well, it was a pleasure. And tell your husband, crab cake. Are you a crab cake eater, by the way?
Actually, I am allergic. So no, I'm not.
Okay. So what can I send you that you elbow him and get him out to have a crab cake with me? And that way I'll send you home. Is it all seafood, shellfish? Where are you?
It's shellfish, just shellfish.
All right. I'm trying to think
Mhm.
here. I'm trying to think Coco's, Casas, all the places we're going to be. I am going to get you out. And I'm going to come to your event and I will not offer you the shrimp cocktail. I'll keep that away from you. I know some people with some peanut allergies. I don't need any of that going on. We're going to keep you whole and keep you in one piece. I will not send
Perfect.
him home with crab cakes, but the crab cakes are delicious. I promise you at Faithleys the day after opening day. I am Nestor. We are WNST AM 1570, Towson, Baltimore. We never stop our wise conversations and our friends at Coppin looking out for us after 125 years, and we're still learning stuff. It's Baltimore Positive. Stay
Exactly.
with us.